Oh, excuse me. I am exhausted. Am I even gonna be able to read my notes? I decided probably not. I might have to change the lights. So I'm doing this class, right? Yeah. Hey Siri, we're live. Done. Why does this look so green? The light is white. Hello? There we go. Okay. Maybe it was tilted up too much. Who knows? So anyway, I am. Something is happening. Uh, I So yesterday was a sky thing. Today I was walking into work and it's like I heard howling wind, like when I walked in and then when I walked back in going to lunch. And I'm looking around and it's like there aren't really any, like it wasn't that windy. I'm looking at this camera. I'm so used to looking at this camera that isn't that the way? Hey Shayna, how you doing? Isn't that the way? It's like as soon as I use my laptop camera again, I start looking at the other one. Um, Oh, and when I was in the cemetery, I noticed it might have been after I took a picture, or maybe it was when I was looking for a trash can to throw the poop bag away in. Um, but there was like the shadow of a bird. It was huge. That like I saw the shadow, but I looked up and I couldn't see the bird. But anyway, like there were some birds? Question mark. Hello. Do you want to say hello to the live people?
Are you live?
Yeah.
Oh, no, no. I'll call you after.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hello, live people.
Can you hear Russell? It's Russ.
Hello, live people.
All right, I'll talk to
I'm
you
going to
after.
go back down into the pool.
Enjoy. All right,
See
bye.
you later.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Sooner than I would imagine, yes. Yeah, sooner than I would imagine, for sure. Hey, Reem. Oh, snap. Oh, there we go. I was like, ow. Ooh. What was I seeing today? 44477. Oh, I should have said y'all said hi. Um. Anyway, there were these like floating thingies. I was like, are those birds or not? Because like birds don't really do that. They were just like floating in the sky. I was like, wait, what's happening? And then Reem went live, and and I was like, oh, what's shifting? What's changing? And I was like, okay, because I don't know. The wind was howling today, and it was like there was nothing for it to howl through. Usually, when the wind is howling, it's either like blowing really hard or it's blowing through an orifice, right? Interesting. Hey, Skywalkers. So, anyway, that happened earlier today. I'm doing this database, I'm taking two databasing classes. And in the database design class, I'm such a me. I'm so Patrick that I'm like, some of this stuff is. What did Eve say? Or was it Ariel? It was Eve. It was either Eve or Ariel. They were like, I channeled. I think it was Ariel. and she was like, I channeled something about you and this job with something or something like that. Because I'm going through this database design class and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I guess it makes sense because the thing about database design is it's based off of set theory and first order logic. And it's all about relations, and lots of things are related. And I'm not trying to be here all night. So I might just like, as I'm reading through this, if I feel anything, whatever, then I'm going to pull some cards and we're going to see what's happening. I was going to start at the beginning, but I don't necessarily need to do that. Because I was reading, I'm doing the terminology in this chapter. It's only chapter 3. And I'm doing my homework earlier. I'm not procrastinating this time. I keep looking up there. And they said the difference between, they were talking about the difference between data and information. And it says that data are the values that you store in the database and it's considered to be static. Information is data that you process in a way that makes it meaningful and useful. And information is considered to be dynamic. And they say that data is what you store, information is what you retrieve. And I was like, oh, okay, Reem. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Wait. And then I was like, because I feel like sometimes, because I feel like that energy has been around. It's an energy of like having gone through something, but not necessarily seeing the point. It's like maybe missing the point, maybe something that you're not seeing, but you've already, like, either you're going through the experience or you've already gone through the experience. You just didn't see the one key thing that you needed to see to turn the data into information to make it useful. Otherwise, it's just like a series of random numbers and letters and you don't know what anything means. Right? That's like if I say five is the data. Well, maybe the information is like dollars, $5, right? And so I was gonna do like the data, how we perceive it, and then a helpful way to process it or to make it a little bit more meaningful and or useful. Because again, I'm me and I do stuff like that. And also, I'm gonna pour me up a drink. And by a drink, I mean some ginger ale. But it's a blackberry ginger ale, so it's good. They used to have a orangeade, and it was my favorite, but they don't sell that anymore. That's my ancestral baggage. I inherited from my mother. As soon as you like something and that's all you want, they just stop selling it. Either they stop selling it or you never find it in the store. It's literally been happening to her since I can remember. It's like when she started drinking these cranberry sparkling waters, all of a sudden they stopped selling cranberry. Or it's like she could barely find cranberry on the shelf. And then after they stopped doing cranberry, she moved to key lime, and key lime was my flavor. I was like, no, don't bring that juju over here. Lately, it's zero sugar sweet tea or zero sugar tea. They never have it. Um, so, but anyway, hey Malika, did I say hi? Wait, what are you talking about? What am I talking about? What's happening? Skywalkeress, I'm confused. My brain is just not there today. Reem was like throwing out numbers, and my brain was just. I'm glad that Eve was there. Because I'm like, what? And then I was like mishearing the numbers, and that's when I was like 240. I should have put a question mark, or I should have put, did you say? See, that was data. I'm out there just throwing out data, not even giving it as processed information to make it meaningful and useful. So Reem probably thought I was saying like 2 hours and 43 minutes when I'm really like, did you just say 243 minutes? But it's fine. It worked out. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, it starts out where it's like it's barely there, and then she's like, "Is everybody drinking this?" And then it's just gone. I'm like, okay. But luckily, the blackberry is really good, so I go for blackberry ginger ale, and I get lemonade sometimes. But the orangeade was amazing. So let's get into this, and let's just see like what happens. Maybe nothing, maybe everything. And when Reem did Taurus, hey Holly, when Reem did Taurus, um, she talked about a circular grid, I think, and I took this home today. It's this. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. It's this cardboard grid that these jars. Well, it comes in a box, and I was like, oh my gosh, it almost reminded me of the All Room. Weird? Is it weird? But it's missing another thingy and something else. I was like, I don't know. I like it. And then I was like, maybe I'll use it for something. I mean, I don't, unless I like put, like, I could stand a deck up in it. So I could, like, put it in a box and then take the decks out of the box and then just pull them. I might try that. Why not? Anyway, it's been 12 minutes and I ain't done nothing. So let's get into this. I like to put this down. So, data, information, and let's see what's saved. I think I might do this as a. If I like this, I think I'll also run this. So, if I ask Siri for a number, if I'm live and I've already done the number, it'll be the before, after, in between. If I haven't done the number, if I haven't done the number, it'll be the before, after, in between. If I have done the number, it'll be this. And if I'm not live and Siri gives me a number, then it'll be a rune. Hey Linda, how you doing? Also, so I like these two. I like the oops, right. Magical Dimensions, Oracle cards, and activators. Also, low key, I went shopping for new clothes for work, and I went to Burlington, and all they had were like fitted, like tapered leg jeans, and I was like, skinny jeans. And at first, I was kind of like, ew, but then I was kind of like, wait, am I liking this? So skinny jeans and Crocs. This is the new me. uh, no, I want tarot. We'll go for the mystical dream. So I'm gonna use these three, and I guess I'm only gonna do one of these because I want to go to sleep tonight. Hey Siri, set an alarm for 5:20 a.m.
Your alarm is set for 5:20 a.m. tomorrow.
Thank you, because I've been forgetting to turn my alarm on. Thankfully, I woke up yesterday. Today, I was just asleep. Thankfully, I ain't move out yet because I'm so used to looking at that now. Thankfully, I ain't move out yet because my brother knocked on the door. He's like, "Are you up?" I was like, "What?" He said, "Are you up?" I was like, "I am now." And he's like, "It's 5:41." I said, "Wait, gotta go." I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. I'm excited because I've been working for 3 weeks now. Then I got some money earlier today. My check came in, and then my mom, she called me, and I was like, "Hello." And she was like, the check is here. I was like, oh, well, I was like, oh, but it's like 5. I was like, it's after 5. The bank is closed. She was like, the bank closed at 5:30. I was like, well, okay. So I went to the bank and then I come back to Reams Live and they put me on blast. I was like, wait. I was like, wait. Oh, goodness. Apparently they was I heard that they were putting me on blast. I can neither confirm nor deny the accuracy of that totally accurate and triggering reading. I'm kidding. um, it's fine. So wait, saw what? Oh, tic tac toe. Gotcha. Hey Rob. I was just thinking, thank you. I was just thinking earlier today. I was like, I feel like I haven't seen Rob in a while because I missed the live. And I was like, what? And then you popped up in Reams. And then I was also like, I could like literally text Rob and be like, hey, Rob, how you doing? But then I saw you today. So I was like, okay. Yeah, that's one thing. I feel like I missed stuff now, but it's fine. I guess I should have known that this would happen. But before, I didn't think it would be as consequential question mark. It's already 9:01. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, it's already 9 o'clock. My bedtime is technically supposed to be 9:30. I push it to like the tens. When I get desperate, I'm in the 11s. And I think last night I was desperate. I was in the 11s and then I technically overslept, but I still made it to work on time. So, and I think like whenever I wake up, I feel like I have a set like default ish pace. And whenever I look at the time, I'm like, oh, I gotta hurry, and I'm hurrying and I'm doing whatever, and then I just like naturally slow down and fall back into my pace, and then I look at the time again, and I'm like, oh crap. But ooh, there we go. Hibiscus with honey. Ooh, I have. Can you see it? That red one right there. It's strawberry hibiscus. And then I have the Tezo Passion tea. I think it has hibiscus and some other stuff in it. I've been getting down with the hibiscuses. Hibisci. Yeah. It's like great value. But the other one's Tazo. Chamomile. What? I need to watch them. I'm always like, oh, well, I wasn't here, so. And honestly, I feel like I'm going to have to start using the watch later feature because I just don't watch videos as much as I used to. And I'm always like, oh, I'll remember it because I'll just go down my subscription list. But then it's like the next day and it's gone. I was thinking of that earlier too. And then I was scrolling. And I saw Cushiel, Angel of Punishment, with Rob's face. I was like, what? Rob got the Angelarium Oracle of Emanations? Didn't make it to watch the video, though. Because then Remy had gone live for like hours. And now I'm here. I need to do this. I'm trying to go to sleep tonight. Isolation just came out. This is interesting. And trust is over here. And in the trust card, the first thing I noticed is like it feels like the bottom of a bubble and spikes right there. I'm not using one of the fancy cameras, so it's not gonna auto whatever. Um, but and then in the isolation card, I see the wolf blowing the bubble. It feels like the breath of the wolf is moving this bubble over here where it's going to land and then pop in this space. So that's happening, maybe, potentially. Question mark. Yeah! Patrick and SpongeBob. Your watch later list is full. My watch later list needs to be. But I guess it would have to be at a time when I'm not at work. So not like, 1 or 2 central. Breakthrough in the heart portal. Interesting. Okay. All right. So this is going to be how we perceive it. The information is going to be the enchanted map oracle. And then the data is going to be the mystical dream tarot. So again, data is just like it's a value, raw values. Information is the stuff that you do to the data to make it meaningful or useful, to give it some kind of not purpose or reason, but definition, description, or context. And I'm going to try to do this fairly quickly. And also, I guess I need to talk to Russ tonight. So that is going to happen at some point. Speaking of, well, he said he was going back to the pool, so maybe he's plunging. Oh, who is this? Compass. Number 50. The bottom of the deck is encouragement. Aww, that's cute. And strength, number 44. So strength, encouragement, and compass. It feels like being asked, motivated, and encouraged to choose your own path and to know that you've done enough to get you, at the very least, in the direction that you want to go in. So, congratulations. Trust yourself. Trust your work. Trust your guidance. Trust your team. Trust your heart and your mind. Trust all of you. If you're trustworthy, I guess. Well, I would, because sometimes we don't feel trustworthy, and that's why we overthink and stuff. And I think also too, it's almost like we're not necessarily asking for like forever. It could be, right? But it's almost the like do what feels right in the moment. Almost. I'm trying to take off the I'm trying to take off the Hayoka mantle and put on the nice airy. Wait, what are you talking about? Oh. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, Rob, everybody wants me. I'm just like, calm down, people. There's enough Patrick to go around. Psych. So the Hanged Man with the 7 of Cups is here, and the 6 of Swords under that. See, yeah, there's this energy. It's like wanting to make the right next move, but it's getting stuck in analysis paralysis. Whereas it's like, it's not that it doesn't matter, but if you've ever played Sonic, um, I wish I were like really too cool for school, because I'm like, these classes, I do enjoy them immensely, but the homework, I'm like, nah. And it's an online class, so it's like all homework. Eve! Hey, Eve. It almost feels like if you've ever played one of those old Sonic games, it's like when you turn, the world turns around you. So Sonic, when he gets to the bonus stages where you gotta like turn all of the blue orbs red, and then if you create a square, they turn into rings, and you can collect the rings. It's like you'll be directed in the way that you should go, so you don't necessarily have to be overly worried or concerned about choosing the right direction, right? So let's see. As long as it's not a pie, I am fine with that. Lady of Cups. So this is girl. Hello. Oh. Okay. That's another conversation I've been wanting to have. Oh my gosh, it's temperance. The innocent. This is interesting because the innocent is at the bottom of the deck, which is that fool energy again, and temperance is here, which could be our. Yeah, I feel like in this deck she definitely has Mary the Jewess vibes because it's like the water ain't even established yet. She's like digging the well so that those who come later have the water to fill up one cup and then to pour it into the other cup and to have a foot or to be in the water or wherever temperance is, you know what I mean? She's the one that's got to do the work. So I love how Rob is like, "Oh my gosh, Patty, you're so in demand," and then my phone is like, "Blah blah blah." It doesn't do this often. Trust me. It is a. That's all my ginger ale, and it's so the card. The first card that came out is the Lady of Cups, and the second card that came out is the Lord of Wands. And it's interesting that we have water and fire with temperance here before anything's been established. So this is an energy, it feels like this is interesting because it feels like we're trying to navigate a situation through the element of water, which is our intuition, it's all of that stuff. Rob knows things, hears things, sees things, smells things. I'm assuming. What are our other senses? All of the senses. It feels like we're used to navigating things by water, but at least for a time, we're being asked to navigate by fire. That's where the plane is, right? And see, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. This is the data, right? So the cards are what the cards are. I'm not necessarily supposed to try to interpret it yet. The interpretation of these cards, because this is the data. Again, data is, oops, the values that you store in the database, and it's considered to be static, which means it doesn't change unless you change it. It is what it is unless you change it, which can be said for energy sometimes. Uh, and then information is data that you process in a manner that makes it meaningful and useful when you work with it or view it. And information is considered to be dynamic. Data is what you store, information is what you retrieve. So this is the data. Now I'm going to pull the these inspirational creation to be the space of how we are interpreting the data, and then I'm going to pull the see, I don't want to say the right way, but that's how it was set up. um yeah, the innocent was at the bottom of the deck, and then I'm going to pull the enchanted map oracle to see what wants to come out for how to interpret it, and then we'll sort of gauge the differences. The Priestess of Dreams is at the top of the deck because I accidentally saw that. The Priestess of Dreams with the Innocent. Oh, look, the Lady of Swords is behind that. This is the top of the deck. This is the bottom of the deck. The Priestess of Dreams is looking towards the past. The Innocent is looking towards the future. And it reminds me of the Digimon Frontier song, maybe. And it's like, look to the past as we head toward the future to reclaim the digital world because it's Digimon. Um, let me just look up the lyrics. Let me just look up the lyrics. Yeah, F up the lyrics. Sorry. This is my brain. I need sleep. Sleep is going to happen when it happens. Digimon Frontier intro lyrics. See, Curix is not a thing. Typing has not been my friend. The keyboard has not been my friend lately. So, it's look to the past as we head for the future to reclaim the digital world. With faith in ourselves and trust in each other, we live by the lessons we've learned. As we work towards one solution through a spirit evolution, um, and then it's like Digimon, forever united as one, together the battles are won. Through us, let your spirit evolve. If we're here for one world, there's a world for us all. And then there's a longer version. But it was that with faith in ourselves and trust in each other, we live by the lessons we've learned. But it feels like this because, well, that was the thing in the beginning. It's like you've already gone through the experience, but maybe there's another way to see it, to extrapolate information from a data set that you haven't yet received. And you use that extrapolated information to pull yourself out of one database and to put yourself in the framework of another. Since I'm talking about database design. So, Russell! It's anything Russell decides for it to be that day. I'm exhausted, Rob. I sent Russ. I was like, I'm fighting the urge to go live because I'm tired, but I want to go live. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Data being a synthetic cyborg with feelings because that's the favorite character of the buddy who just got back to me. Yeah, I love it. Like that's one of my favorite Digimon openings. So, oh look, there's the card of empowerment again. I'm gonna wait until I get the other one first, because then okay, this one just flipped over. Empowerment. Oh my gosh, 1331. Empowerment and reflective truth, and it's funny that it's reflective truth with the 1331. Oh, Russ, Temperance came out. I don't know how long you've been here, but huh. No, wait. Well, bottom of the deck is Wisdom, number 44. 44 and 444, that's a number today. Strength was number 44 in the Enchanted Math Oracle. I did. Rob, it's an addiction. I'm just kidding, it isn't. Or is it? I'm kidding. If you want to know more, check out Rob Odinson when he went live with Ariel Soul Mana, and they talked all about a lot of stuff, addiction and like trauma and shadow work and more. See, okay. This goes back to Sagittarius. For the Sagittarius video that had no sound with Igashalmerox or Igashalmerox. It's like you expand to a certain point that it triggers. It's like you expand outward to a point where it triggers an expansion inward. And maybe that is how we navigate through water, like an aquatic organism that is fairly basic. Well, not that they're basic, but it's like it pulls in water and then it expels water. It pulls in and expels, and that's how it moves. Because it feels like this queen, this lady of cups energy is like I've had enough, and that's like the empowerment is the external expansion, but then at some point we hit reflective truth where we go back inside. And wisdom is here at the bottom of the deck with emergence behind it, number 11, and breakthrough. So here's some math. Since I'm talking about data, here's some calculation, right? If we take card 4 and multiply it by card 11, we get card number 44. So this is so wisdom cementing this empowerment into an energy that we can truly consider to be wisdom. It's a series of breakthroughs and emergences. And breakthrough is an emergence. This reminds me of Hang True. And then it's like once you've gone through this process 4 times, because 4 times 11 is 44, 444, that's when it's like it becomes wisdom. It's almost that energy of like it takes like 21 days to form a habit, almost. But that's sort of like what we're getting from this. Now, the Enchanted Map Oracle with right the wave at the bottom of the deck talking about moving through water. See, but riding the wave is different because this is an active process. Like doing this to get through the water is active. Riding the wave is like letting the water just, it's matching momentum. It's almost like company benefits, right? When they're like, we'll match your 401k. So whatever you put in, we'll also put in. So if you don't put in anything, you don't get anything, but it's an energy of doubling rather than sort of doing it all on your own. I feel like I'm not reading these. Okay. Right? Inner child and shame and not belonging today. Yeah, I saw what your inner child needs to grow. What? What? Now I gotta go check it out. I gotta go check it out. Kizzy cat. Oh. I'm gonna need this one to be explained to me, please. Okay. Wizard of Awareness and Slow and Steady. We have a 3 and a 9. There's a 3 and a 45 9. 3, 4, 5. There's no 6 though. So Sad Embrace number 45 came out. And I was like, okay, y'all also gonna have to explain Sad Embrace to me because I don't get Sad Embrace. Has she talked about it? Maybe not. Kizzy Cat, when you gonna open up shop? See, the thing about sad embrace though, it looks like this blue fairy is sitting on top of a face. And the eye, see the eye? It's closed. That's the bridge of the nose and the mouth. Those are the lips. It's sitting on top of a face. So even though we're going through this empowerment and reflective truth, it's like there's still something missing. But that was the point of this, right? It's like we're integrating in a certain way. We're taking the experiences to mean a certain thing, but it feels like experiences experience can mean more because again, it feels like it's an energy of extrapolation. We're using experiences that we already have. We're doing math to it. We're looking at it in a different way to substitute for data that we don't have yet. And especially for like the people who need to see or experience something to truly believe it, I feel like that can make expansion into new difficult because it's like, well, how am I supposed to know whatever if I've never found it? And then it's almost this question of like, well, how do you think you know whatever if you've never found it? Because the fool is here with innocence. Oh yeah, 44, 45. I didn't even catch that. Oh gosh, Russ. Oh well, yeah, So I feel like that's been happening. Consecutive numbers have been happening a lot. The other card that came out is the Wizard of Awareness, number 3. Because I was like, I need more than that. And the Wizard of Awareness is here. But again, Wizard of Awareness, it feels like an outside energy. It feels like someone, something, spirit, the divine, in whatever way they manifest, whichever medium they choose to use. It feels like it's trying to get you to see things in a way, in a different way, or in a new way. And it's like it's scratching its head thinking about it. Every time I see a bearded man in a card now, it's going to be the bearded man. This feels like this honestly feels like someone or something that projects itself into your experience and from your position tries to connect the dots. But I don't know what that means or I don't know who or what that would be or why that is. I have no clue. What's at the bottom of the deck here? Oh, it's slow and steady. Slow and steady was behind the Wizard of Awareness. It's 12, which is another 3. And see, with the slow and steady, we get like 1/3 of the Triscale or the Triskelion. You can see all 3 of them here. And there's also a color change. The wizard is bearded, yes. Can you see it? There it is. Wow, even my webcam on the laptop is focusing today. Okay. Work. There's an energy here. It's almost an energy of illusion in a really weird way. Cause it's like the light from his staff is doing something weird. You see that like this faded weird thing in front of the Triskel? That's why it's like, is this, but I guess it's like glasses where it would be a corrective lens. It's almost like an illusion to correct for something that you don't see because of the distortion. That we don't see because of distortion. Yeah. But there's something on top of it. Mary the Jewess showed up, Russ. Oh, look. She's all the way over here, and then the bearded man is all the way over here. And I said this was like definitely Mary the Jewess because like she's digging the well for temperance. Like she's like, I brought my cup all the way here, and there's nothing to even like. Hello. Like I even got to do this. Oh my gosh. See, there's an energy here of masking here. There's an energy here. It's almost like instead of being vulnerable, we find ways to overcompensate. Maybe because that's what we think strength is. And so that's what this is. Empowerment and reflective truth. This is an energy of overcompensation, but it overcompensates to the point where your insecurities are like glaringly obvious. You know what I mean? It's like when you do so much that it's like, okay, so your self esteem is really low. And you got to do this and do that and be recognized and be the center of everything in order to feel something that you didn't. We don't have to go all the way there. I'm taking off the Heyoka mantle. I'm done with it. How do I be more like. But that's what it feels like. But this doesn't reflect the truth of who we are, which is why the truth still sits outside of the body. But it's like this is what we thought it meant to be strong, or this is what we thought it meant to conquer something or to be whatever. And to the fool, it is. To the inexperienced, the innocent is the inexperienced here. I don't sense Lilith here personally, but I think Lilith for me might be different than Lilith for other people. Like how I feel Lilith isn't how I've heard Lilith be talked about. So, and I feel like the Rob in my head is like it's okay to be sad, right? It's okay to be like, wow, this sucks a little bit. The sad fairy is like sitting on the higher self, but not sensing it. And the thing is, I mean, the size comparison isn't necessarily here. but from how the size of a fairy stereotypically is not that large. And so if this is the fairy, and like look how big the face is. This is again, it's an energy. It's almost like a fetus. Like to call this, I feel like this isn't even a child. Like that's like a newborn or like a preemie. How like they come out really small until they continue to grow, right? Unless this is a really big fairy, but it doesn't feel like a really big fairy. There's an energy of neglect here all over this. And it's like if you don't feed it anything, that it doesn't have any nutrients to use to grow. And so it gets stuck. There's See, and I feel like here this energy is echoed. Like with the fourfold process to turn something into wisdom and with slow and steady here. Also, there's an 11-12 between emergence and slow and steady. Like it's gonna take time. It feels like our own impatience can be our greatest enemy sometimes. And the sacral portal is here. Who was that? Somebody in Reem's live had a sacral and heart energy. Russell and Eve were both right. It was sacral and the heart. Both of the portals are here. But anyway, I don't remember who that was. You're a big fairy. Wait, what? Well, like, I don't disagree with you on that. Because I was getting the same energy. But the size of the fairy, like, I was thinking about that too. It's like fairies are tiny. So why is this face so relatively small? And it's the Wizard of Awareness. The Wizard of Awareness says that things are relative. And so this energy, it's almost like one of those optical illusions where there's two dots that are the same color, but if you change the background, they look like they're a different color. Or if someone's like in the front, like if I do this, right, this card looks a lot smaller than this card, but in reality, they're the same size. It's a matter of perspective and relativeness. And it comes through in the energy of, again, that like that light bending stuff in front of the Triscale. And so it feels like, in some ways, the workaround to get us into a more balanced position is, in some way, to overly inflate the ego and then to deflate it. To make it bigger and then to reduce it down to size. And it's because it's like it's harder to build the ego than it is to destroy it in a way. So we build it up and then we not break it down, but it comes back until these things are in proper proportion. And one doesn't have to be larger or smaller than the other because, again, it's relative. It's just like how they say that every creature on earth has a finite number of heartbeats. And once they reach it, barring external circumstances and conditions, when the creature reaches that number of heartbeats, they die. And it's like, a hummingbird's heart beats extremely fast, and so it's going to have a shorter life because it burns through those heartbeats. And a tortoise must have a really slow beating heart because it burns through those heartbeats really slow. I don't know. And Grace. Okay. Was it Scorpio? Yeah, it did have the hummingbird and Beauty Way. I have no clue. I have no clue. Thanks, Rob. And I think Slow and Steady, Magic Prayer is here. It's number 32. It's a 5. I don't know why it's here. But every time I pick this card up, I see it. And I saw it the first time. I'm just like, I don't know what this is. So, in some ways, it's almost like there's something that happens in one area and aspect of our lives that, like, let's say there's one area of our life that we excel in. And if you're the type of person who doesn't think that you excel anywhere, then I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. It feels like there's one area in our life that we excel in. And so we experience recognition, movement, momentum in that area. But it's almost like some of that is supposed to translate over here. And again, because with this energy understands what it means to be human and to what it means to be incarnate on earth, what it means to be subjected to all kinds of external things and to be raised in a certain way and to have baggage and trauma and everything like that. And so again, it's like it builds you up in one area for that to start to strengthen whatever is weakened. And that's how it's like it's not ideal, but over time it nurtures this as it grows bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where we no longer need to be celebrated or recognized or awarded or whatever to feel whatever. We can just be it. We can just recognize our inherent worth and value and beauty and stuff like that and live in that truth. And it feels like after that, when that begins to happen, there's a whole lot of manipulation that doesn't have to occur anymore, right? It's almost like you can get a natural 44 instead of having to go through 11 4 times or to go through 4 11 times. It's like you can emerge 4 times or you can break through 11 times and eventually reach the space of wisdom. And I think a lot of times we kind of sort of choose to break through 11 times. But again, it's just sort of the nature of how we work and what we have access to. And I feel like it also ensures other things along the way. So I heard that about the turtles when I got into the Mayan galactic, the Dreamsville. So what turtles are? I know in I think in Lakota, Lakota Sioux with Wakinyan, um, turtles hold a certain sacredness because It's like there were creatures of, and I'm like, I think David Red Oak is his name. I got into Lakota stuff and like Wakinyan and the Heyoka and like stuff last year at some point. And Wakinyan and the Wakantanka and Tatanka and the bear. Um, and it was like there were certain shadowy dark creatures that existed, and Wakinyan purifies them on the earth, but she can't go into the water. And so Wakinyan asked the turtle to do it for her. And the turtle was like, well, what's in it for me? And I was like, this turtle, this turtle. And I forget what he got, but the turtle agreed, and he purifies in the water that which can't be purified on the land. Okay. I went looking for the deep freeze card because deep freeze would be something that prevents the turtle from entering the water or emerging from the water. And it's next to flying and spark. It's in between flying and spark. Flying is this card. And again, that was the energy where it's like we're almost being led and guided. It's kind of in both of these. It's to be led and guided by passions rather than water. Because water as an element can freeze. Water as an element can also evaporate. Water elementally does things that other elements don't necessarily do. Like you don't have to worry about the earth like evaporating or melting necessarily. You don't have to worry about fire like changing phase. And it makes water like really powerful for what it is, but there's something here about the limitations of water to get us where we're going, which is why temperance is coming and saying that the element of fire is actually going to take us there. It's to trade water for fire, but like a healthy fire, right? Take it as it resonates. I don't know. Sorry. So that's what I got. You're Kin 260. Oh, snap. I'm Kin 256. I think I'm 256. I'm pretty sure I'm 256. Yellow electric seed. That is not my kin. I am a yellow solar warrior. And when I saw yellow warrior and I read what like yellow warrior is, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is me. This is me. I see it. I've always had yellow warrior in me. Where's my kin number? Where'd my number at? Where'd the number go? Yeah, kin 256. I'm kin 256. 186 is Russell. Thank you, Rob. I mean, in the space of this reading today, it's an energy of like water has its limitations. And there are certain things that you would never ask water to do. Um, since I'm talking about database design and chemistry and everything else, because that's, my real life comes into. Uh, there are no separations between different areas of my life almost sometimes. So at work, she was walking me through the water process, how it comes in through the city, it passes this filter, it passes another filter, it goes through this, and then it's all clean and whatever. And she said that like highly purified water is extremely corrosive. And I was like, what? Like, I thought since water was pH 7, like it's not acidic or basic, it's like non corrosive. And she's like, no, like water, and it's because water dissolves things so well. If there's nothing else in the water, it's like water will literally eat at like steel. And so every now and then they have to do stuff to keep the tanks from corroding in the highly purified water. But just in general, it feels like there are limitations to water, and so we need to introduce other elements. There are limitations to the heart, so we can't be solely and purely heart led and heart focused. To do that is to neglect the others, and that's again, that's this energy, the energy of sad embrace. It's the neglected something that's not being nutritionally provided because we're not, because of the nature of who we are. And again, like this energy understands who we are as composite beings, as beings made of more than one element, energy, modality, whatever. So I don't know. What's the kin stuff? Yeah. I was like, what? And then when she was like, water is the universal solvent, it like it breaks everything down. I was like, oh, okay. And that kind of sort of in a way came up in Sagittarius. I think I threw that thing away. I sent a picture to Reem. So let me find it really quick. Oh, it's almost 10 o'clock. Okay, I gotta go to bed after this, but. Sorry. It's fine. Here it is. Can I rotate this? Maybe. Maybe not. That's what Sagittarius got. Can you see it? There you go. And then the backside of that was even more chemistry. But anyway. Ooh. Oh. Okay, there we go. Water is the Akashic store. We are both oxygen and water dependent beings. Rib Odinson, I'm sorry. The Dream Spell calendar in particular, yeah. Jose Arguelles. Somebody else said something about the gut biome, I think. Blue Knight. See, there's something about water and fire that make them different, even though they're very similar. Because when I was giving numerical associations to the dice, and I had to go through the elements, I feel like it's really hard to differentiate the element of water from the element of fire. Fire is the soul, water is the essence. And in a lot of parts, and they even talked about it in here about how, because they're like, it's important to know the terminology because of technical papers and this and that and whatever. And they're like, so often we use data and information interchangeably, where data and information are not the same thing. And again, it's like the soul and the essence can almost be used interchangeably. And what I settled on, because I'm like, I don't know what the difference is. It's like the fire, the soul is the collective whole, but water, the essence, it's the pieces of the soul that we bring forward to accomplish a certain thing. Fire would be the data, water would be the information, the Akashic store, information, perfect. But there's something about pre-contextualized information, and that it almost takes me back to the thing, because yesterday I was doing this as I was doing the whatever, there was this energy where like different gods and goddesses would appear in different cultures throughout the world and would be like slightly different. But it's like it's something about working, I guess, down. It feels like it's working up. Did y'all just hear my mom go, "Oh Lord"? It almost feels like it's working up to the primordial totality of that energy before it splits and breaks off. And it feels like, again, like that is this energy. There's something about how the information is, there's something about how the data is already transcribed as information that gets us to miss certain things. And so we're being led back to the raw data before it's processed. And we're trying to be taught how to recontextualize it, how to process it in a different way, how to do different calculations to present different results. But it gets tricky when we don't know what we don't know. And that's where we have to try to extrapolate from what we do know in a way to get there. And that's a part of this emergence and breakthrough cycle. Because it's like the more we run the extrapolation, the closer we get to whatever. And then it feels like at some point, there may be an entirely new data set. But it's a data set. It's like if you can't process the set that you have, there's no way you're going to be able to handle that. Just because it's developmental, right? As people, and even as souls in some way, we develop. And there's something underdeveloped here. There's something malnourished. There's something that this energy just isn't getting to reach the proper size that it's supposed to be. So that's why I'm like, wait. That's what it feels like. I think I'm the seed and the owl. I'm the seed and the owl, and then the yellow warrior and the 13 moon. I saw that owl. I was like, wait. But also, owl energy is very, and like for me, between the dream spell and my traditional, like my core is pretty much the same. I have yellow warrior and yellow human in both of them, but in the dream spell I have a red serpent. In the traditional I have a yellow seed. So I'm like all yellow, but all yellow, and then I think white dog and white something else on the ends. But anyway, it's funny. It would be so ironic if the owl is my spirit animal because I can't see in the dark. I genetically somehow mutated in a way that none of my other family members, besides one grandmother, maybe, like my eyes just don't work in the dark. So I'm like, wow, what? Yeah, Russell is the world bridger. I'm like, what? He's been teaching me his world bridger ways for over a solid year now. So I've been working on my challenges. Anyway, I need to go to sleep. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope that this is helpful or beneficial to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion if you sat through this and watched it. If not, that sucks because you're not going to get that time back. But sorry. I'm supposed to be changing. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. It does. It is unfortunate though. But maybe you had a good time at the very least. If you watch this, I don't know. No problem. Should I? Okay, let me see. So for the two that I use, I'll have to sign into WhatsApp on my computer. 1 second. Uno momento, por favor. My jams. You wanted? I bought a pair of pajamas that are like this. They're a black gingham plaid, and I never wear them. It's too hot to wear them right now. I'll wear them in the winter, but I feel like in the winter they'll be too thin, and then like my friend was like, "You never wear pajamas. Why do you buy these?" Like he was like, "Why did you buy these? You wasted your money." And I was like, "No, I didn't. I deserve a good pair of pajamas." And then I proceed to like never wear them. It's fine. His birthday is October 4th, actually. So his birthday is coming up. One moment. I want to grab these for you really quick. Yeah. Is it this one? Sacredroad.org, the Cholky Tzolkin converter. I think this is one of them. So this one gives the traditional Mayan, I think. Let me see. Put in my birthday really quick. I was not born on a Tuesday. I was born on a Sunday. I'm a Sunday baby. Well, it gives the traditional, yeah, white dog and white mirror. So white dog, I think this is white dog. White dog is my ally in the traditional. White mirror is my challenge. So, and the traditional, my challenge is a white mirror, and the dream spell, my challenge is the white world bridger. So, that one wasn't quite it. So some of this stuff, like I just went off the top. Yeah, this is it. I just went off the top. I didn't like do any of the like pay for this, do whatever. So this is the one that gave like the Tricana and the day sign. My Tricana is the owl, my day sign is the seed. Ooh, that was a lot. Okay. So that's this one. And then for the other one, it's this one. And I got these resources from a friend in a Mayan phase last year. Well, it was a Mayan phase for me for a minute. And then I was like, there you go. That's the other one where it gets the, that will give you the dream spell. So the more traditional, the more modern one, it'll give you your breakdown. Yeah. So there you go. I love technology. I was able to just sign on to that on my computer and do whatever. I didn't have to go to my phone and then find it and then try to type it and F up the link. No problem. Yeah. And the universe conspired to have us find each other when I was ready. Because I could be extremely stubborn. I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm like, no. Whenever Spirit asks me to do something, I'm like, did you submit a formal request? And they're like, we've been submitting formal requests. Girl, you ain't doing it. I'm like, well, you know how I am. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm kidding. I'm a lot more flexible now than I used to be, for sure. I'm a lot of stuff now than I used to be, which is one of the reasons, I guess, why so many things are in the process of shifting and changing. And I I don't want to necessarily say who because I don't know if this person necessarily wants to be named. But I reached out to a friend yesterday and I was like, what's happening to me or with me? Can you help me out, please? And they got back to me. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah. But then today I was like, it was a slow day at work today, apparently. It was a slow day at work today, which is nice. Not complaining. But I was like, some of that stuff I don't actively believe anymore. Some of that stuff I don't actively think anymore. And it's interesting because it's almost like it's for me to be aware of those shifts and changes. Because in the moment, I was like, oh my gosh, like I do this. And even in the moment, I was like, I used to do it a lot more. But today I was like, wait, like, I don't think I necessarily think or believe those things anymore. But for me, and that's all I'm going to talk about. That's it. That's it. Because I don't. I don't want to get too deep into it. It's my process, my journey. It's sacred to me, and you're nosy. Get out of my business. I'm just playing. I'm kidding. Um, but for me, and I've talked about it before. For me, for a long time, there wasn't a future that I wanted to live. Like I'm 28 now, 28 and a half. I didn't want to live to see 25. And for a long time, I was like, if I'm still alive at 24.99999, then, you know, and then things started shifting and changing slowly. And when I turned 25, I was like coming out of that. And I was like, you know what? I gave myself until 25. And now that I'm 25, it's like everything that I promised. And that was a thing for me. Like I did therapy. And the therapist dude, he was like, choices and decisions that you made when you didn't have the mental faculties or the experience to handle the things that you were going through, like you don't have to stick to those choices and decisions. Like you don't have to honor those things. And I was like, what? It blew my mind because I never thought about that. And I was like, well, like I always thought this. I always believed this. Again, in a time where I feel like there are some things that we're never necessarily prepared for. I don't think we're ever necessarily in a space to handle certain traumatic things. But if something happens that's less traumatic than something else, then like we can sort of be not as affected by it or whatever. If we've gone through and overcome things, then we know that there are things that we can go through and overcome. But if we haven't yet overcome things, then how are we to know what it is that we can overcome until we go through the things? Which is why 44 strength was at the bottom of the deck before. But when he said that, it literally broke an entire, like the entire scaffold of my depression, anxiety about the future, not wanting to live a life, isolation, matrix, complex, just shattered the whole thing. And that was like not too, that was at like in year 24. So by the time 25 rolled around, I was like, oh, well, like I did that. Now I get to live the life that I never would have dreamed of or imagined that I was afraid of. And so now there are things that matter to me that have never mattered to me before because I didn't think I was long for this world anyway. And now it's almost like I got to go through all kinds of stuff that it's just like I never, like it was never a concern for me. But anyway, that's happening. The nose, the raised hands and then the nose. Yeah. That's so funny. Somebody was like oh, she was going off. And she was like, he was supposed to spell nose Knows, but he said Nosc. And I was like, girl, she was like, I want to ask her if she's an Aries. But anyway, um, red self-existing Earth. Ooh, no problem. It's a really good friend, Russell. Um, but yeah, so that's and honestly, girl, oof. Well, you know what? I've already been called out for it anyway. Wow, I wasn't even here. I wasn't even on the live. And then I come back and people like, Reem was like, she was finishing up Pisces, and I was like, okay. And then I watched it back. I was like, oof, girl, come for me. I was like, come for me. Yes, trigger me. Trigger me. And again, I guess it's funny that it came up today because of everything that happened yesterday that got me thinking about these things. And there was a point for a long time, like one of the things that didn't really matter is because like I had dedicated myself to like isolation and to not get too close to people. Because I was like, I don't, when at the time, it's like when I make that choice and decision, I want to hurt the least amount of people that I can. So I don't want to get close and attached to somebody and then like, take myself out because that wouldn't be cool. Um, and then like there were other reasons why it's not that I necessarily felt unlovable, it's that I didn't want to be loved because I didn't want to make someone else suffer for loving me. Um, and now, because so many things have changed, it's like, in some ways, I feel like it's like uh, going through stuff that I should have went through a long time ago. But again, I feel like the gift of me going about it this way is that I can use where I am now to not be so concerned with what other people think about me that I'm like changing myself and I'm doing all kinds of stuff. Because I'm like, you know what? I had that 25 years where I didn't give an F. So I'm going to keep that to put some healthy boundaries here because you ain't about to change me. That's too much work. That's why I show up as authentic as I can. And if you don't like me, then that is an accurate assessment. Let's just avoid each other. You find the people you like, I find the people that I like, and we both have happy, fulfilling lives, right? I'm not gonna contort or force myself to. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not about that. I'm not about it. But anyway, uh, yeah. So I was like, oof, girl, ooh, girl. But now I'm like, yeah. So anyway, oh, and that process actually started. It started in the most karmic way, honestly. In like the buzzwordiest of buzzwords, karmic. But even in that, because I was doing meditation class at the same time, and I was like, I'm not going to guilt myself. I'm not going to shame myself. And then I was like, so why do I keep doing this? Like, what is there for me in this situation? After that situation, I realized that it made me a lot more comfortable in my body. And then there was another like karmic, near karmic situation that like it went there, but then there were boundaries. It was like I don't want to whatever, and I was like I don't want to whatever. If that like if this is something that you've experienced, I don't want you to be hurt, girl. So it happened. Let's move on. And it was only recently ish, not recently, within the past whatever, that I've been able to recognize how it benefited me in ways. So I guess I'm glad I didn't fall down the path of like shame and guilt and blame and like, why am I doing this? I'm such an idiot. I don't even like it. He's just there. He's there. I'm here. This shouldn't be happening, but it is. And it's like, wow, like those actually made me pretty comfortable with my body. So I'm thankful for that reason. But anyway, yeah. Well, thanks, Ron. I try. And I feel like honestly, like being in this space and sharing and seeing how authenticity helps others be authentic and vulnerability helps others be vulnerable, it makes it easier for me. Not necessarily easier, because I think at a certain point there's a part of me that's like, even if somebody was to judge me, it's like, well, who are you to me? Like, I don't even know you. Like, and even if I did know you, and you judged me, and it's like, okay, well, I guess that wasn't worth it. This isn't gonna work if you're gonna judge me. So we had our time. It was gorgeous, but I'm gonna move on with my life because I mean, and that's for me one of the all of that like isolation-y type stuff that I did. It helped me, I guess, in that way. I find ways in which it helped, but that's the thing about extrapolating. That's the thing about extrapolating or interpreting the same set of data to provide many different like sets of information, right? From the same data, you can interpret it in any number of ways that are beneficial or helpful. And I guess that's what my intention is. It's to provide a different perspective at times. I don't know. All right, I was gonna shuffle these, but I'm like dropping cards on the floor, and I gotta go. But this was gorgeous. Thank you all for being here. What y'all say? It's 10:15 here now. Um, Scorpio in your chart. I got Scorpio on my descendant. Scorpio's in my seventh house, so yeah. Oh, thank you, Skywalkeress. I'm just like, I'm not even. Yeah, no problem. I'm like, I think that like, anyway, I don't have to get into it. Just, I feel like I've done enough. So again, I'm gonna go to bed. I hope you all have a good whenever you see this. I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. Because I would like for you to be happy, but if you don't want to be happy, then I don't want for you to be anything that you don't want to be. Which is why I say that I hope you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I say it for a few reasons. One of the reasons is because sometimes you have to do something to get something, and as people, we don't like to do anything, and we expect and want everything. Sometimes. Another reason is especially the alignment part. It's like there are seasons and phases and cycles, and sometimes it's not for us to do anything. So the action that aligns with that is nothing, or it's a non-action. And then to get the experience that you want again, because some people don't want to be happy, and I want to honor that. And I hope that whatever you need along your path journey or where you find it, whatever it is, because when we all get there, the world will be a happier place. When we're all happier and more fulfilled. Oh, wait, I shouldn't say happy because some people don't want to be happy. When we're all aligned to that which is for us to align to, then the world would be more aligned with what the world is when everyone in the world or more people in the world are aligned with the things that they're going to be aligned to.